All right, so the All-Star
Okay.
Game rosters are live. We know who's going. We know who's not going. And it's very interesting. The lists are both who's going and who's not going are very interesting. 32 first timers of the 64. The Phillies lead with 7 total names, and 4 of them are pitchers, which is tied for the most. Tied for. Uh, okay, hold on. The teams who have sent 4 pitchers to the All-Star game in the past. There's only 7 teams to have ever had 4 selected
Okay.
pitchers from their staff go to the All-Star game. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
So they're
nobody's ever
tied
sent
for
five.
first,
So,
but nobody's
yeah.
ever done 5. That's right.
Okay.
This is the 5th straight year the Dodgers have had at least 5 All-Stars. I thought that was interesting.
That is
Here we go.
interesting.
Here's some more fun facts. Luis Ariz and Juan Soto are in their 3rd straight appearance with 3 different teams over the last 3 years.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
that is a
you would
pretty
think those
combo.
guys are props or something,
You would, but they're not. They're man. I promise they're not.
right?
Yeah. Paul Skeens is the first All-Star to play in the All-Star game who was also drafted in the previous year's amateur draft.
So I saw this. Is it just drafted period or the first overall pick? Because most of what I saw was the first overall pick in the previous year's draft.
Well, I think drafted in the previous year, but I
Drafted
mean,
period.
that's what I read.
Okay.
We should look
I, I saw the first overall pick and I was like, maybe the first one who was drafted at all in the previous year. So it makes sense to
because
me.
yeah, that's what I read. I mean, baseball family, if we're wrong there, let us know, but I don't think so. And this one, I love this one. You ready? This one
Uh-huh.
made me so happy. Brother Harper, we love Brother Harper here. Okay, Bryce Harper will be the 14th player to start an All-Star game in both the infield and the outfield at least once. Okay, so at least once they've played in 2 All-Star games, one in the infield, one in the outfield. Okay, now that puts he's been an all-star in the outfield at least 5 times, 5 times previously, right? This year's his first appearance in the infield as an all-star starter. Of the all-stars who've started in the outfield at least 5 times and also have started at least one other game, one other all-star game in the infield, those names are Hank Aaron, with 16 outfield All-Star appearances, Stan Musial, 10 outfield All-Star appearances, and Carl Yastrzemski, 6 outfield All-Star appearances. Bryce Harper is the next guy on the list with at least 5 outfield starts in the All-Star game and 1 infield start. Now, what's interesting
Hmm.
is that every one of those guys also made their infield appearance at first base.
I don't think it's super surprising.
It's not surprising,
it's the natural progression, right?
but it's
Into
fun. I just
into the infield.
those kind of squeaky clean details are so cool to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, it's
polish
really
that right
cool.
off.
I didn't realize that those other guys had done that. So I did look it up. And this is
With
according to
Skeens.
CNN. So yeah,
Okay,
so you can take it whatever you want, wherever you are. But also it can be it anyway. Multiple
it's
sources
sports
have
news.
said
It's
that he's the first player to earn an all-star nod the season after getting drafted first overall in the MLB draft.
okay. It is first overall
So
then.
first overall. Yep.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Well, that's
That's
still
the
very
one.
exciting. It's
It
cool.
is very exciting. Yeah, good for him.
I agree. All right, let's move on to snubs. Or do we want to go through? Let's go through the starters real quick and list them off because I think that'll be interesting and important for everybody. What do you think,
Let's
Brad?
do that as part of snubs. Let's go through that and then we'll talk about who
Okay.
got snubbed.
All right, let's get into talking about the starting rosters for the American League and the National League. And then as we do that, we're going to get into snubs, which will be contextualized by the
Snubs.
starters. So, Brad, why don't you
Mm-hmm.
take us through the American League and tell us who we are going to be watching. Tell us.
Okay, so this is just in order on the list here. So your catcher is Adley Rutschman. Your first baseman is Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Second baseman is Jose Altuve. Third base, Jose Ramirez. Shortstop, Gunnar Henderson. Outfield, you have Aaron Judge, Stephen Kwan, Juan Soto. And then your DH is Yordan Alvarez.
Solid lineup, honestly.
It is a solid lineup.
Yeah. The National League starting roster. Catcher, William Contreras. First base, Brother Harper. Second base, Ketel Marte. Third base, Alec Boehm. Shortstop, Trey Turner. Outfield, Christian Yelich, Jurickson Profar, and Fernando Tatis Jr. Your DH will be Shohei Ohtani.
Because of course it will.
Super duh. There are some super duh names on here. Shohei Ohtani's one of them for me. I think Trey Turner's kind of a super duh. There was a little bit of a, are we going to see as much of him this year as we wanted to, but we've since dealt with that.
I like that William Contreras is there. I like that a lot. I think he absolutely deserves it.
100%.
Ketel Marte is back to form. I don't know if he was not healthy for several years or what, but the guy he's been since like last September is the guy who we all thought he should be. And by we, I mean like Mariners and D-backs fans.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we were the only ones who knew about him until the postseason last year.
Well,
Every Mariners fan was like, fall.
Yeah, I remember when he was the only Diamondback on the All-Star game a couple of years ago, and he was just running amok.
Well, because he's so good. Like, he is so good. And it's crazy because this is only his second All-Star appearance ever.
I know.
Because 2019 was the last time he was an All-Star.
That's right, 2019.
It's bonkers.
So what do you think about the Salvi Perez backing up Adley Rutschman?
I mean, who else are you going to put there?
No, I just mean, do you think Adley Rutschman deserves to start over Salvi? That's the question.
Oh, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
well, because the starters are voted in by the fans, so it's a popularity contest, and because that's who the fans want to see, that's who they get. So that's I have no problem.
Let's make that very clear. Yeah, like this is not 100% merit based, okay?
Yeah. I mean, what was it? There was 7. I think one year there were like 7 Royals who were going to start the All-Star game because the Royals fans, or it was the Royals had like some killer campaign or something like that. It's like, it is what it is.
Well, same with the Baltimore Orioles this year. Just the Orioles fans came out in droves, and the smart fans voted for some Baltimore Orioles. You know what I mean?
And that's fine.
That's how it goes.
The whole game is for the fans, so it's not a big deal. But
it's true. Okay, so some other snubs. Ronel Blanco is not on the list anywhere. Not a pitcher. First string, second string. He's not a fourth select. Nothing.
Yeah, he's not, and it's interesting too because the other guy I would have liked. I mean, my thing is like the fewer guys I have at the All-Star game on a year that you can win, the happier I am because it gives them a chance to take a few days off, right? So like I'm glad that Julio's not going to be there because it's like with the first half he's had, he needs a couple days to kind of get his mind right? Like go hang out on a beach for a few days, go relax.
Yeah.
Do it, you know? But I do feel like Andres Munoz needs to get some recognition because he has had an outstanding year, Brig. He has been so good. Like, so good. Like, let me pull up some numbers here for you for this year.
Pull them up.
Okay. Yes, he does have 3 losses. He does have 3 losses, which equivalents to basically 3 blown saves.
Listen, we all have 3 losses
the bases loaded
this year, Brad.
And one of those losses, he walked the bases loaded and walked in the winning run. I think he threw 16 balls and like 2 strikes that inning, you know? But everybody's gonna have a bad outing. It's fine.
Yeah.
We've all forgiven him. He has a 1.7 WAR, a 1.50 ERA, 14 saves. You know what his whip is, Brig?
What?
1.
1?
1. That means that he averages giving up 1 base runner each time he goes out there. And sometimes, it's that first batter, and then it's like, okay, he's in a groove. Like, he's fine now. That guy's going to steal second because of defensive indifference. He'll be in scoring position, but it's like, doesn't matter because nobody else is going to get on base, and Mooney's going to lock him down. He doesn't have as many strikeouts, but he gets out of messes. Like,
That's huge.
I don't have the numbers to back this up, Brig, but I'm gonna say, just because of what I've seen, I think he has more 4 save outs this year than anybody, or 4 out saves,
4 out
saves
saves.
than
Yeah.
anybody. Yeah,
Let me just look it up real
because
quick. No, I'm just
they
kidding.
bring him in a pinch in the 8th all the time. It's like, crap,
Mm-hmm.
but he's done it so many times this year though that, like, when they do it, it's like, okay, Mooney's gonna lock him down. It's fine.
Yeah. Well, and
So
there are some
that's
other relievers that are getting, especially in the closer spot, that think Clay Holmes maybe not the first choice.
right, and I think that he would have been a good choice in place of Clay Holmes.
Exactly. And
Right?
you know what? I think Clay Holmes needs a breather or a chat or a something.
Yeah, and
So
this is the
I
thing.
would
Like,
have
give Mooney
preferred
the
to
time
see
off
Munoz.
because they've been working him hard this first half. But you know
Yeah.
what, Brig? Santos is coming back, baby. He
Oh
got
yeah.
activated today.
Oh, today. Okay.
Today he was activated. So help is on the way.
Help is on the way, dear. We watched that yesterday.
So funny. I think
It's awesome.
I get the Mason Miller selection,
Yeah.
right? A lot of hype
Yeah.
around that dude. But I do think Mason Miller's selection hurt Brent Rooker's chance of getting on the team,
Yeah, that makes sense. And
because
Brent
it was
Rooker,
like they're like, Mason Miller, okay, they've got their one. Now we don't need to
let's
put
move
Brent
on.
Rooker on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brent Rooker has he's batting 278 right now
Well, that's an all-star
this
batting
season.
average this year.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
278. 77 games played, he's batting 278. 35 runs. It's awesome.
yeah,
It's
but the
54
other problem too,
RBIs.
though, with Rooker though, but it's like, who are you going to put in his place, or who are you going to take off the team with him though, right?
Right. That's the other
Like,
problem.
that's the hard thing, because I mean, David Fry has been really hot, but I feel like Rooker's been more consistent all year long.
Yeah.
Right. So that's where I land on that one. Why I think Rooker probably could have taken Fry's spot.
Yeah.
Because how many does Cleveland have? They got like 5 guys.
5 or 6 or something like that.
Yeah.
5.
So you
Yeah.
could take one of those guys off and put Rooker on there, because I think he deserves it. And who
I do
knows?
too.
Maybe he'll be a replacement. But
That happens.
yeah.
Definitely happens. Baseball
Who
family,
else
let
do
us
you
know,
have?
who do you think was snubbed? No, I'm moving on. I don't
Who
care
else do you
anymore.
have? Do you have anybody else you think was snubbed?
I think Christian Walker should have gotten a little more play, maybe up, not first string, but second and third, probably second string. And the fact that he's not on the list at all is an atrocious oversight. I feel like
Yep.
Anthony Santander deserves to be there. I don't know where. Doesn't matter where you put him. I think he deserves to be there. That Willie Castro, you could make a case for Willie Castro.
I'm not so concerned about Willie Castro, but I think Christian Walker should be there. And then we're going to get into that just a little bit later with I have a walk-up song that addresses that.
Do you?
I do. Anthony Santander, I think, should be there as well.
Yeah.
My problem though is, like, I don't know who you take off, like, because I think Jaron Duran absolutely deserves it as the
Oh
reserve.
yeah, 100%.
Riley Green, yeah, and Kyle Tucker. So Kyle Tucker, is he still injured? He's still injured, isn't he? So
Yeah.
maybe
As far
Santander
as
is
I'm
going to get
aware.
in Tucker's place. So there you go.
Deservedly so.
So yeah, I think that would be the case there.